Okay, so good evening again, everyone. My name is Akinyemi, and it's Money Mondays with me. And I'll be talking today about how to leverage the bear seasons and leverage the seasons to still make maximum returns. I'm sure many of us have been in the market and we have seen what's going on. Reality is there are ways to handle the season. There are ways to ensure that even those seasons eclipse each other, we can be on our feet and doing well. So, of course, I like to refer to this dream, even though this Pharaoh's dream, is a dream that has a bigger context than what I want to use it for. The full context of the dream is showing how God's people, Israel, came into captivity uh, in Egypt, how Joseph became prime minister, how Joseph typified Jesus Christ in many ways, and was ruler of the kingdom and father to Pharaoh. And there's a lot in that story, but there's something I want to just bring out for the economics. The economies and economies from that story that I think we can all benefit from as well. And that's the fact that seasons have a way of eclipsing each other, okay? That you can have a bull season and then you can have a bear season. And in that particular dream, there was a bull season that happened before we had a bear season. And Pharaoh had a dream where he saw some very thin cattle basically swallowing some fatter ones, showing that, you know, even though it doesn't make sense, that the bully seasons are so exciting and so flourishing that you cannot imagine that these very thin bulls will swallow, these thin cows will swallow the bulls. But essentially that happened in that dream and it led to an economic strategy that Joseph came up with of how to overcome bearish seasons by ensuring that during bullish seasons, there's an activity you engage in, and during bearish season, there's another activity that you engage in to ensure that you are able to control and manage those times well. Okay, so and I've shared this before. I said there's a strategy for managing bull and bear seasons. It's essentially ensuring that you start from your portfolio of altcoins, you find the one that pumps, you sell to Bitcoin. If you have some on pop coins, you wait for them to pump, and then of course near the end of the bull season, you want to exit as much as possible into stable coins, into fiat or stable coins, so that you don't have to worry about the vicissitudes, or the changes that are happening in the market. Now, and I've shared this strategy before to say what you need to look at in times like this is don't be alone. Okay, woe to him that is alone in Zion. These are not times to be alone. There's no way you can solve these times alone. You need access to information that you don't have. You need access to opportunities that you don't have. You need access to deals that you can't afford. Okay, so you want to ensure you get the solid networks. Of course, you want to ensure that your DCA plan, the one you are doing on Bitnob, of buying a little regularly, doesn't stop. Okay, DCA, 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 maximize the bull when others are maximizing the bull, and then when it comes to the bear seasons, there's what you need to be doing. Okay, and that's what I want to talk about today. And one of the key things that I've found that you need to be doing during this bear season is one, keep your DCA going. If you've started DCA, keep that going. Play in the DeFi space, ensure that you have something that is not taking all your money at once and putting it inside, but gradually building capacity. And then number two, the launch pads. You want to be able to use the launch pads. The launch pads require a lot of leverage. They require a lot of leverage, and it's best if you can do it alone. You can go alone to the launch pad. If you can't, then you need to leverage on what we call the power of we, the power of more than one person. And I'm going to tell you what that is about very quickly so you can have an idea of what I'm saying. So for example, if you look at these launch pads, on this page, you have launch pads, and they say the top 10 launch pads by April. And you will ask yourself, these launch pads, do they make sense for the BS season? Are they things I can participate in? And basically it's analyzed from BSC pad, Ignition, Poker Starter, DAO Maker, Bounce, Zido, TrustSwap, Doc DAO, Samurai, Pools. There are so many pads. Okay, there's Kick pad, Cross pad, there are different pads. Okay, even BSC station, there are many pads. Okay, outside of this list. Some are small in stature, some are big. There's Poker Foundry. There are so many of them. Okay, and they were able to, in the bull seasons, return 11x, 16x, 17x, and all those kind of x's. But the x's are reducing now, so you won't get as much profit on this part as you would back then. But guess what? There are still some parts that are doing magical. And what do I mean? How much does it cost to be in a pad? So for you to be in a pad in a way that makes sense, being in a pad, for example, can cost you anywhere, a solid pad, today's solid pad can cost you anywhere from 12,000 uh, at a meaningful level, somewhere from 12,000 to 100,000. As of this, when this table was drawn in April, to be on the same pad, it will cost you, to be on a solid level, it will cost you about $300,000. Now that $300,000 today has come to as low as $100,000. So with $100,000, you can get a very solid position in any of some of these parts, in the best of these parts. 100K versus $300,000 just 4 months ago, just 3 months ago. So if you're in the room today and you have $300,000 or even $100,000 available that you are not going to invest, you're going to put that money down as your down payment, okay? And then you're going to be investing. If you are in that category, you have $300,000 that you're not using, that you can use for that. Can I hear your yes? Okay. And of course, I expect that nobody's going to say yes to that because okay. In fact, all the messages I'm getting are messages directly to panelists. A few of us are sending messages to everyone. So I'm sure you will say yes to that because it's not likely you have $100,000 somewhere that you can keep for the next 1 year and not touch and then be leveraging on the part for activities. So it's not likely. And that's where the power of we comes in. And I'm going to show you something very interesting shortly. I told you that I had opportunities that did 100, that did 10x in this bear season. And I'm talking about last week and I'm talking about today. And I want to give you an example of how those work. So I got these opportunities on a pad. So I couldn't have access to them directly, not in private sale, not in seed, not in VC. They were very, very highly coveted product opportunities that were not available in any of those places where they share opportunities. So nobody was offering TronPad. Nobody was offering Cross Wallet. TronPad was about 2 weeks ago, and Cross Wallet was today. Okay, and I'll give you an idea of how they did. So what does this 25x mean? So for TronPad, for example, in the pad where I was, pads define the limits that you can invest based on how much you invested in the pad. Okay, how much you paid to position with the pad. So for example, in the pad where I was, I had positioned with about $40,000. And because that's what I positioned with, the amount of investments you typically get for that kind of investment in the pad roughly comes to about $100. Okay, $100, sometimes 200, sometimes it stretches to 300. If it's a very not so good deal, you can get as much as as much as $400 investment. If it's a very, very high premium deal, you may get less than $50. Okay, it goes that bad at times. But guess what? On TronPad, in the place where I got the deal, I got some TronPad, and on the day it was listed, on that same very day, the token collectively had done 160x, 160 or 170x. It means that if you had $100 in it, that had become $17,000. But because they also don't release all the tokens at once, so some of them have vesting cycles. They tell you will get 10% now, or you get 15% now, and then you get the balance over the course, get the balance over the course of the next 6 months. So with those kind of deals, for Tron, for example, what I had invested in it based on the limitations I had from the part that I was able to do a straight out 25x on the 15% that I had. So let me use an illustration for that. So let's say, for example, I invested $10. That $10 became $250. Okay. And of course, in that token, I still had 85% of the tokens uncollected. So the $10 had become $250, for example, and there was still 85% of the tokens, which of course, the market has now dumped less than 160x, it has dumped about 50x. But from that 50x, there's still an opportunity to be able to make, times 50 of the value, which is about $500 from the rest. So what am I saying? I'm saying those opportunities exist, okay, and you can participate in them. Okay, this one happened today. Cross Wallet happened today. Cross Wallet in the pad where I found it as well. It was launched today. I was able to buy some based on the pad I was in and the allocation I was given. And only 10% of the tokens were released today. And from the 10% of the tokens released, okay, there was a 10x. And what does that mean? That means, for example, if I was able to invest just $10, it means today I already got $100 back. and I still have 90% of the tokens still with them that will be releasing regularly over the next 6 months. Okay, now if you are in the house and you are interested in joining to participate in some of these deals, put a yes in the chat box there. Let me see your yes, not to panelists alone, but to panelists and attendees. Let me hear your yes. Okay, good. So of course, if we're going to do it by the order of your yes, then we know who is going to go first and who's going to go next. And for those whose yeses have not seen yet, okay, it means that when we are considering the people that want to do this, we should jump and pass. Okay, but essentially what I'm saying is, yeah, so this opportunity exists. But how do I get on these opportunities if I don't have that capital sunk? How do I get on top of some of these things? Very simple. What you want to do is you want to be a part of a club. So, and this club is something that I can form, and you can participate with me, or you can go ahead and join somebody else to form it. But the idea is you need the person having access to some level of information, person having insights on which deals are good deals and which are not, which one should I put a lot of money in and value in. To get this part launched off, you probably need about like $100,000 to kick it off. So you need somebody who is able to ensure that, okay, look, we can come together and get that value in place. $100,000 is about $200 in what? In 500 places. It means you probably need 500 people to get that party started. And then you can share the value that comes, and the value comes regularly. So this kind of deals come not so frequently, but every week there's something to share. Every week, literally, there's an opportunity like this. And the best way to do it is to do it as a team, is to leverage. And that brings me back to the leverage opportunity we created to say, look, I told that we're going to create a $200 investment club. I think the time is right now because when people are making noise, that's when to keep quiet. When people are keeping quiet, that's when to get busy. And I think, the bear season will come. It will be full-blown bear season, and the bull season will come. It will be full-blown bull season as well. We can learn to leverage at these times and leverage on the power of groupthink. So, of course, one of the things you get with this, I remember last week I shared with you that there's a tier 0. So this is tier 1. Tier 0 says no money payment, no, you don't have to pay anything. Just join the savings group and you can have a decentralized savings opportunity. Or tier 1, you have a one that you pay $200. That $200 gives you access to what will cost you normally about $100,000 to get access to. Of course, your access share will be based on a portion. Okay. Now, the beautiful thing is, it's not only access to pads that I have. I have access to pads. I have access to pre-sales on a number of channels, on a number of opportunities. Every week in the bear season, every week in the bull season, there's always something or the other to participate in. There will be education, so there'll be peer pressure to save, there'll be education, there'll be signals about what's available, there'll be access to public sales, and there'll be access to private sales. These are the things that the club will provide. The $20 is access fee, basically gives you access to the club. We're thinking maybe we should own our own tokens or pick a particular token. To develop tokens is not difficult. It's something I've learned how to do. Okay, so maybe we can create our own token and create dynamics around how governance will operate and how things will operate. Maybe we can adopt somebody else's tokens and utilize for what we want to do. But essentially, $200 is to give you access to the club where you have good positive pressure, you get education signals, you have access to public sales based on your contribution. So if you are doing it at $200, it means when opportunities come, this $200 is sunk money. When opportunities come, your $200 will probably be like 10 points. The person who puts $1,000 will have like, 50 points. The person who puts in more will have more points. And those points will depend on the deal we have and how we share it amongst ourselves and how you enjoy the returns. Of course, this is something that can build and build. You can earn weekly, week in, week out, for a year. And it'll be completely, transparent. You see what the deal is, you see what the value is. The $200 I paid is sunk into ensuring that we can access the opportunity. The opportunity comes and everybody shares as they choose based on their limit, based on the amount they paid to join the investment club. But these are the things that you get as value. And deals like the one I just shared with you are things that can be shared, in that space. Of course, the question is who is interested. My perspective or my thought is not everyone will be interested, but some people will be. And those who are interested is very simple. In order for us to be able to take the kind of opportunities that will be able to be, make sense for everyone, the target of what we need to use to secure the paths is huge. So it probably will be a system that will not only help people to be able to get others involved, but will also probably reward people for doing that, because we need to ramp up the numbers quickly to be able to form a force enough to be able to dive in and enjoy this. The reality is, somebody once bossed me and said, let's form a club for a few of us. Let's just a few guys come together and then pay $10,000 each. If we have 10 guys, we see the opportunity, we divide it by 10, this will work for us. And I'm sure we will have those category of people who will do the $10,000 group, and they'll share the opportunities in that space. And there'll be people who will do the 5,000, who will do the 1,000, and people that say, what, I have 200, let me just start. But the opportunity, the idea is there's stuff going on. Okay, so this one I shared with you happened today. This cross wallet one happened today, and that happens there's what's happening in 2 days time, there's what's happening in 3 days time, there's what's happening as public sales in the middle of the week as well. So there are many opportunities out there. The idea is bundling together. Lions always eat buffaloes, not because 5 lions can kill 1,000 buffaloes. If 1,000 buffaloes turn around on 5 lions, the lions will cease to exist. But the reason why lions eat buffaloes is because the lions come together and the buffaloes fly solo. So if you're at the house today and you are interested, please join Esther Okorie and type in that box, I am interested. Okay, type there, I'm interested. And I'm not just using this to whet your appetite. This is something that I believe we can do. I'm not in a hurry to pick it off, because they that believe do not make haste. Opportunity, if they say it is finishing, it is finishing. It is not really, it's not true. Opportunity never finishes. There's a right time to position. I think the right time is closed. I think we're on the right time. As you can see, it's not cheap to get in. Somebody asked, this money we're going to pay, what's it going to be used for? It gives you access. I have many places that have paid money and the money has lost value, but it gives me access. Okay, there's a club I joined for $30,000. Okay, to get access to opportunities. The reality is, am I getting access to opportunities every time I want to? No, but the few I get make sense for me. And I think that's the spirit by which you want to be involved in this as well. So, what? There's opportunity here. There's value I'll gain here. And that value I'll gain, can create lots of possibilities for me without me really being active, because we can, form a club where people take responsibility for different aspects and then share with us when there's opportunity. I choose to take when I want to take. I choose not to take when I want to take, but I have access to all of those things there. Reality is it's still happening. The bull season have a lot of distractions. People have these that they're doing. Here, the opportunities are real. So there's a Tron pad, for example, as well, that launched today with their first product. The first product on the launch pad on Tron pad was Cross Wallet. Cross Wallet is a wallet that is amazing. I want to keep some of the tokens myself, because I think it's going to, it's going to get great value of extra income that can be earned from staking it. And people using it is almost as good in the way it's described. It's like a Uniswap that is centralized and a wallet. So I think it's beautiful on many levels. And if you're interested, this is something we'll begin to put some structures around. Last week, I shared with you tier 0, and I said, all you need to do is fill the form on that group, indicate what you're interested in, and then we'll reach back to you. Now, we haven't reached back to anybody yet, because we're still, the group savings is not ready yet. Probably will ready sometime in July, but we're building the numbers. We're asking people share the link so that your own friends can put your name there. It would be ideal for you to have 50 people in a particular club, because we're going to have exciting things in those clubs. Okay, we're going to have clubs, competitions of people trying to outsave each other, of people trying to get involved in variety of things. It's going to be beautiful, actually. So that's the link there. It's bit.ly/Green Community Club. bit.ly/Green Community Club. I'm going to share the link with you, share a video with you as well in the groups, so that you can participate in this. But the general idea, if you get this very well, is there's an opportunity for me to DCA, save regularly. And there are also opportunities for me to take part in what is happening on the launch pads. The launch pads are crazy expensive. I can't go there as an individual, but I can contribute into a small pool that makes sure that that place is secured, and I can share access with other people as well, so that what the wealthy are doing, I can also have a taste of doing it. And it's not a short play, it's a long play, because guess what? The best time to become a millionaire is not when things are bullish, but when things are bearish. Because when things are bullish, everybody's trying to come in at the top and still hope for another higher top. When things are bearish, you have the opportunity of coming in at the rock bottom being patient, and enjoying tremendous value in time. So that's it in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. It's been my pleasure sharing with you today. I hope you have gained value. You have learned one thing or the other. I hope it's been worth your while for the last few minutes. If there are any questions in the house today, please, I'll be willing to take 2 or 3 questions. Let me have your questions typed in the Q&A box. So the Q&A box there, where you can put your question and answer, please type it inside the Q&A box. Let me read your comment and then answer them so that we can close this meeting. Please type your question there. There's a Q&A box. If you look at the menu bar, you will see mute, you will see start video, you will see participant Q&A. Just put your questions in the Q&A, or you can put your questions in the chat box. Type it out there. I will look at your question and answer them, and then we'll call it a day. So, ladies and gentlemen, what am I saying in a nutshell is that there's opportunity. This is courtesy. If you see, it says Green Community Club. You may not know what that fully means. The Green Community is the Green Mondays community. We spread wellness and wealth as a family, and anybody who is participating in this, is getting good to get an opportunity to be a part of that as well. If you want to, you don't have to be a part before you join this, but there's an opportunity that is coming up that allows you to be a part if you want to as well. So that's available. Are there any questions before I wrap up the meeting? Thank you for thanking me. I hope things are going well in the country you're in. I hope you are, settling in well, and things are going good. So if you're here today and you got value, this resonates with you, this is something you would like to hear more about. Somebody says link to Green Money. I believe you mean link to Green Mondays. Okay. Link to Green Mondays. I think you can find the person who invited you here. If it's me, buzz me after. I'll share with you a link so that you can be a part of that. Everybody needs to be a part of Green Monday at some point. You'll find out why very soon. But essentially, I thought it's important that people know what's possible, what's going on, and what they can be a part of. Good things are happening, possible, even in this bear season. So you just need to know what you're doing and how you're doing it. And I think, that opportunity is there. Someone says, can someone who is not a Green Monday stockist or distributor join the crypto? Oh, yes, you can join. If you're not a distributor or a stockist, you can join. That's fine. This is where we welcome all. But the reality is, we'll show you an opportunity as well that you cannot say no to because it's good and it's not out of your reach. Okay, but yes, people can participate. Someone says the means most part. Don't worry, it's going to be. This is recorded and it's made available. The link made available in all the groups shortly as well. Okay, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The key details, fill that form. We'll send mails out with key details. People will know what to do as next steps. Some people here are saying, let's hurry and do this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not in a hurry. Either Belize doesn't make haste. And we're going to do this and we will do it well. We will do it very well. So no worries about that. And we're going to participate in some exciting things. I'm going to tell you when I think you should hold. I'm going to tell you when I think you shouldn't hold. I'll share my own thoughts about the things that will come your way. But let's, we can do this together. Okay. I also try and play with the structure of the amounts that is being paid, how much of it will go into securing a part, how much will go as reward, how much will be fees for the education and all the other things that will benefit from, so that everything is contributing to value one way or the other. Okay, so that's in a nutshell. I've seen only one question and I've answered. In the absence of other questions, I think it's a good place to draw the curtain on today's meeting. It's been my pleasure sharing with you. I hope you have gotten value. Thank you very much. Till I come your way again next week, Monday, I'll say stay blessed.